to a pen, take some notes, what you better do.
All right, in this video, we're gonna look at how to touch off a drill. I'm gonna show you two different ways to touch off this drill. The first way, we're gonna use the tool eye. The second way is gonna be touching off the drill directly on the part. So that's what you would do if you did not have a tool eye, or if you decided not to use the tool eye on your part. You would only need to do one of these methods. So you're either gonna touch off on the tool eye, or you're gonna touch off on your part. There's no reason to do both. I'm only doing both so that we can combine both methods into one video. So first, to touch off on the tool eye, we're gonna go to jog mode, and then we're gonna fold down our tool eye. So we're in jog mode. We're gonna fold down our tool eye, and then we're going to approach the part using our hand wheel. And what I need to know about my insert drill is which side of the drill has the exterior insert. So this side has the exterior insert, meaning that this insert is all the way on the edge of my insert drill. My other insert down below here that you probably can't see is not touching the edge. This is just tool material on the outside edge right here. So this is the insert that I'm going to be touching off on. So the only section of that tool eye that it can reach is this back side. So that's where I'm going to touch off on the tool eye for X. So I'm going to approach the tool eye. I'm going to get the tool as close, about as close as I'm comfortable with, within about 100 thousandths to 250 thousandths. Then I'm going to go to jog, and I'm going to use the buttons to actually touch the tool to the tool eye. So I'm going to hold the X negative button right now. My tool's going to approach my tool eye. It's going to touch. You'll hear it beep most likely. Didn't beep, but the light turns red, and then it automatically backs the tool off. So I didn't change what button I was pressing to do that. I was holding the X negative button, the tool came in and touched, and then automatically backed off. Then I can let go of the button. And you can see here that tool number 2's X offset now has a value in it. Most machines, this is going to be a big negative number. This particular Doosan, our X offset comes out to a positive when we touch off on a drill. So that number is correct. Now I'm going to do the same thing for Z. So I'm going to back off this way. I'm going to come down in X. Now I'm going to go down about right there so that when that tool comes in, whichever insert sticks out the furthest, that's the one that's going to hit. So now I'm going to switch back from handle jog to regular jog mode. And then I'm going to hold the Z negative button. Again, hold it till it hits. It's going to back itself off. And you'll see as soon as it touches, it's going to put a value in this Z offset. So I'm going to hold my Z negative. The tool's approaching. It's going slow. That's fine. So there it touches, backs itself off. Now we have a Z value for that tool. So now I'm done touching off, so I can back this tool off, and I can go ahead and fold my tool eye up, but I'm not quite done. I have to compensate for the diameter of this drill. We touched off on this side of the drill, which means when I go to run my program right now, as it is, my tool would come in and it would put that edge of my tool on the center line of the part. So my tool would be about right here. So when it goes in and tries to drill, it's not going to be on center line. So I have to shift down, so this way would be negative, and we're going to go by the full diameter of the drill. It's always going to be the full diameter of the drill. So this is a 1-inch drill, so I'm going to go negative 1.0, and I'm going to add it to this number. So I'm going to add it by using plus input. So it's going to take 1.0231. It's going to add a negative 1 inch, so basically we're subtracting. So I'm going to end up with 0.0231. Always double check your math. So plus input, it asks if this number is okay. I've done the math in my head to know that that's right, so I'm going to hit execute. Some machines you don't have to hit execute. That's just this particular one. But you're always going to do that process. Touch off, then subtract the diameter of the drill. If we had to touch off on the opposite side of the tool eye, so on this side, we would need to shift the drill positive. So we would have added 1 inch. We would have brought our drill down, touched off this way, then we would have added 1 inch. And again, that 1 inch is because the drill diameter is 1 inch. If our drill diameter was 0.75, we would have shifted it by 0.75 and not 1 inch. So now you would be done with this tool offset if you were using the tool eye. So I'm going to clear these out, and we're going to look at how to touch this drill off directly on the part. So if you're not using a tool eye. So we're going to approach the part with our handle. Let's go ahead and set Z first because it's the most simple. So I'm going to approach. I'm going to use the paper method. I'm going to move in 1,000th at a time until it grabs my paper. Grab my paper there. Now to actually set it, you'll see what I type right here. I'm going to type the axis, so I'm setting Z, so I type Z, and I give it the actual location, so I'm going to say Z0, and then I'm going to say measure. So I'm telling it when the tool is right here, the tool is at Z0. So measure, it gives us an offset. Now that offset looks different than when we did the tool eye, and that's fine. That's why if you use the tool eye, you touch all the tools on the tool eye. If you're not using the tool eye, you touch all the tools off on your part. You can't do some one way and some another because the offsets are different. Now we'll go ahead and set X. And on my X, I'm going to do basically the same thing here as I just did for Z. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to use my paper method until it grabs my paper. So my paper's pinched between my tool and my part. So when I set X, the first step is just like you would set an OD tool. So I'm going to tell it X axis, and I'm going to enter the diameter of my part. So I've already measured this part, and it measures 1.980. So I'm going to type the X, and then I'm going to type 1.980. And then I'm going to hit measure, and it's telling it that when the tool is right there, it's touching a 1.980 diameter of my part. That's the same as you would do an OD tool. If you were doing an OD tool, you would be done right there. But same as when we touched off on the tool eye, we've got to compensate for the diameter of our drill. We still need to shift it negative because of what side of the drill we're on. If our drill was flipped, this would be a little bit different. So it's easiest if you put the exterior insert on what's going to look like the front side of the tool to use. So if you always do it that way, this is exactly how you'll touch off. So I've got to compensate for the diameter. We're moving it negative because we need to move it towards us. So I'm going to type minus 1.0 and I'm going to hit plus input. So I'm going to come out to 0.0208. Looks right, execute, and now we're done with that tool. So notice the X numbers came out similar. One was, I think, 23 thousandths, one was 20 thousandths. So they're very close using either method. The Z is what's going to be different, and that's why if you use the tool eye for one tool, you got to use them for all. But that's the process for touching off and setting a drill, and this would be the same whether it was an insert drill or whether it was our normal twist drill. You're still compensating for the diameter of the tool.